Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. This is project 2 using the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar set, but I'm not making anything seasonal. The whole set isn't quite what I thought. I thought it was going to be seasonal, so I didn't purchase it straight away, and now it's in the clearance sale on the last chance list for $108, and actually I love the whole set. So what I'm making today is going to be stack and shuffle cards. Now, I know lots of people have made these quite a few times. And in fact, at my card class last month, we made stack and shuffle on note cards. So it's a really easy way to use designer series paper and to have something different for the front. But I'm going to make not the ones with squares and rectangles. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to do sort of a triangle shape. So what you need are going to be 3 card bases, and they're just ordinary bases, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a selection because I don't know which colours I'm going to use yet, but these are some of the colours that are in the Advent kit, and they match the designer series paper. So you need 3 bases. You need 6 layers, and I've cut them all the same size at 3 3/4 by 5. You need 3 for the front, and if you're using coloured bases, you'll need 3 for inside, the same size. If you're using a white base, then your layers would need to be coloured and you wouldn't need one for inside. And you need the designer series paper. I'm going to have 3 pieces, and I'm just going to choose 3 of the patterns that I love. There's 2 of each 6x6 pattern in the pack. They don't have anything on the back. This is the one I used for my first project. So, but I know that I'm going to choose one of the floral ones. Let's have a look, then I'm going to find a little bit more plain one. I like the green too. Those 3 would look nice. Let's see with another flower one. I don't love that one as much, so I think I'm going to go with those 3. So let's pop those away. In fact, I might do 2 papers and an embossed paper. I've got these on my desk, which they're just from my sample book. I was looking at it yesterday of all of our embossing folders. So I might, instead of using a 3rd piece of DSP, I might use a piece of embossed plain white cardstock. I think that would look nice. This is like the one I used yesterday. Let's go with like the damask one like I used yesterday. Okay, it's a little bit thinking on the fly here. So let's cut our designer series paper. We need it to be 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Now, if you don't want to do 8ths, you can certainly take this down 1/4 inch. It's to layer on top of here, so you would just make them 3.5 by 4 3/4. But I only want a tiny little border on this. So I'm going to cut my paper first. Let's just get it all lined up. And so I'm going to cut them at 3 5/8. We'll save this. We might use some inside. We might use it on a different card. 4 7/8. I should really have put the embossed card in at the same time. Let's just cut that down. So 3 5/8. 4 7/8. And we're just going to treat it like you would a piece of the designer series paper. So if you're using 3 designer series papers, no, they're all going to be cut at the same time. And then to cut the pieces, we're going to keep them all 3 together. And I'm not measuring or anything. Sometimes when you do cut and shuffle, you can measure across, cut one piece down and then cut across. I've got 3 pieces, so I'm only cutting it into 3 parts. If you had no, like 4 pieces of designer series paper, you'd need 4 bases, and you could cut these into 4 parts. But I'm just going to cut I'm going to cut a piece off here. Let me see. No, I'm just going to take this angle. It doesn't matter. All 3 will fit together because we're cutting them all at the same time. So there's my first 3. Then open this. I'm trying to keep them together. I'm just going to spin that round, and I'm going to cut it down to the corner here. Just move my blade up a little bit. It feels a little bit thicker because I've got a cardstock in there as well. Okay. So then when these go back together, you can see they will make that rectangle again. And to sort them out into patterns, it's really easy. The first piece we don't do anything with. The second pile, we put the first piece to the back. The third pile, we put 1, 2 pieces to the back. And that means that every set of 3 now will be different. And that will be our card fronts. Okay, so I'm going to get my layers, and I know I just need 3 of them at the moment. The rest are inside, so 1, 2, 3. Let's move that out of the way. And the bases. Now, I chose bases that I knew were in these pattern colours. So I've got Misty Moonlight, I've got the white, I've got Secret Sea, Flirty Flamingo, Old Olive, and some of the green, although it says it's Old Olive, some is a little bit darker, and I thought it matched really nicely with Mossy Meadow. But I'm not going to choose my bases until I've got these pieces together. So all you need to do is take the top layer of everything, and when you put it on your card base, I'm going to adhere it, but I'm just going to pop them on here first, so you can see that it's only going to be a very small border. And if you wanted that bigger border, then like we said earlier, you just cut these down so it's 1/4 of an inch smaller than the layer. So that's how our first one will be. I haven't really chosen anything that has an orientation on the paper. If you do have a paper with a pattern that needs to go a certain way, then hold it the way you want it to show on your card front before you cut it. But mine, it isn't going to matter if we want to turn some of them around like this. And I might do that, but let's attach them all first. I'm going to attach with liquid glue just so that I've got a little bit more wiggle room with it. And I'm going to put them on the silicone mat just so I can see these edges easier, and so that if I need to move anything, that goes that way. I couldn't think then. If I need to move anything, I've not got glue going onto my grid paper here. So I love making these sort of cards, and they're different every time just because of the way you cut. And if you cut them without measurements, as long as you've got all your designer series paper going into the trimmer at the same time, it's going to work. So let's put this here. We're going to not leave a gap between the edges of the paper as we match them up in the middle. I've not glued that all the way down. Let me just see, that goes that way. Just wanted to make sure I had the right orientation. Just push that right up so that it all matches. And there we go. Okay, so that's piece number 1. Let's get our next layer. Piece number 2, we just take the next layer of all of the papers, pop them out like this. It is a fun way to use smaller pieces of designer series paper as well, the 6x6, ones. I find it, you know, it's a good use for them. Sometimes I have 6x6 left and I'm not quite sure what to make, but this is always one of my go-tos. And at Christmas I made quite a lot like this, and they were really pretty. But like I said, no two is the same, and it's just a little bit different on your card. Okay, that's number 2. And then here's number 3. And I think the triangle ones look nice as well. We're used to seeing like the rectangles and squares, but we don't always do the triangles or the angled pieces. Okay, so that's the layers done. And I think I will have some of them sort of landscape. I think I will put some that way. All right, let's pop that glue down. And while they're drying, I'm going to start and do the labels. Now, the labels, I'm going to use some from the little cutout pack where it's got the white leaves and flowers, and some from the labels, and I might use some of these embellishments too, the die cut ones. And I've got an idea in my mind of one of the labels that I want to make, and it's from here. I like this circle. Oops. Let's turn it over. I really like that circle, and I'm going to, I think what they do is they go over these circles here because they're just the perfect size, look. And although that looks pretty, I'm going to colour it. So I'm going to pop those ones back. And I've already got my inks here. I actually chose strawberry slush. That was only because my Flirty Flamingo needs re-inking, and my re-inker is on its way here. So I've chosen strawberry slush, and I think that will match really nicely. And I've got the old olive, and I've got my small blending brushes. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the circle first. So I'm going to stamp in old olive, and let's find the stamps. I'm going to use this one for someone extra special. But if you didn't want to use those, you could always use the dies to cut out a little layer and make your own labels with those. Those would work too. I don't want the flowers. I need this sentiment. Let's pop it on here. And I haven't used this one, so let's just rub it over with my thumb, and we'll practice it as well. I don't think I've got a sentiment that says for someone extra special. Let's see. Oh yeah, that stamps up nicely, doesn't it? Okay, let's stamp it onto the circle. I'm going to pop it right in the middle. There we go. And pop that to the side. Oh, I'd need that, so we're not going to put that away. Okay, we'll leave that to dry. And then on here, I've got it so it's the whiter side looking up. And I'm just going to colour the flowers with my blending brush. Just drip a little bit off. And it doesn't matter if you get some of it on the leaves as well. Nobody's really going to notice that. They might just think it's a design feature. Oops. Okay, so that's all of the flowers done. Let's close that one up, And let's use the green. I'm just trying to hold it still with one hand and brush with the other. It's not a lot of ink that's going on here. You could certainly colour it in with the blends or a blending brush in the ink pad. You could use that as well. Or you could leave them white. They're still very pretty. Okay, so let's see. This is going to adhere to here. Oh, I just got some ink on there. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few dabs of glue on the inside of those flowers so that it sticks down. So let's turn it, and just on the inside where it will touch the card. It doesn't need to be held down in lots of places. So I think just those few would work. Let's make that straight. Oops. Maybe need my tweezers to move that with, or my pokey tool. Let's do it with the pokey tool actually. I want to move it over a bit. Oh, that's easier. Should have done that straight away. There we go. Got a little bit of glue here. There we are. Pop that on one side just to dry. Okay, I don't need that little piece anymore. So let's start and put our cards together. So here are our 3 base layers. And where did I just put my card layers? Oh, there they are. Let's see what we're going to choose. I think I might try the Secret Sea one first. There, and I'm going to put them on as though they were all going to be portrait, but I might turn them round later. It doesn't matter which way round you put them as long as your pattern coordinates with the orientation that you're choosing. I like that. Let's see a better. I like it on the old olive too. Let's see one with a bit bigger piece of that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think they would work. So I'm going to glue down those ones flat. And then the sentiments and the additional pieces I will pop up on dimensionals just to give a little bit more height. Okay, they look pretty. And I really like the embossed layer. Just gives that little bit more texture. Okay. Right, so let's start and put our sentiments on. So our little piece is dry. This will be, I think I haven't decided which way I'm having it. I think actually I'm going to put it this way. And pop that on over where everyone joins. So let's put some dimensionals on the back. Higher, there we go. And I'm going to use some of the twine just to pop a little bow on it. Let's find the end. There we go. And sometimes these twines are a little bit sort of kinked or bendy. And I just run down with my thumbnail like that. I'm going to do 2 bits. Might make it just a double bow. Just pop it on my bow maker. Put 2 together. I want to put it over here a bit where I had that little tiny spot of ink. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that would fit. Let's pop a glue dot on the back. I don't know if you can see that little dot of ink anyway, but I know it's there, so I'm just covering it up. And then I'm going to cut these little tails just a tiny bit. I like them to be long. Just going to cut it a tiny bit so that they're level. Oops. And move the glue dot. There we are. Okay. You could put more little embellishments on. You could put some of the little gems on from the pack as well. I'm just going to leave that like that for the moment. And let's have a look at the next card. And I think I'm going to use some of the labels. I might make a couple of thank you ones. Let's find my ink and see what I'm going to put on here. Actually, I think that would make quite a nice birthday card. I think I might do something like this. Oh, let's have a look at those little other pieces. There might be something I can put in the middle here. The little bows are nice. Oh, that's pretty. That's very pretty. I think I'm going to do that. Might pop it over to the side. Then I just need a sentiment on there as well. So choose one of these. Let's see. Or I might pop a sentiment underneath. Excuse me a moment when I just pick up my box. I've got these pre-printed ephemera as well that I've been using quite a lot. And there might be something in here. Let's just have a look. Oops. Helps if you don't open them upside down. Let's try the little just a note one. See how that looks. See if there's a longer one. That could maybe go underneath. Oh, let's try this, thank you. I thought I was going to make it a birthday card, but I just like that little blue one in there. I might pop that just like that. So let's glue this one down flat, and then we'll pop the whole layer onto dimensionals. I wonder if I can make it go across like this. I'm not sure about having it this way, so let's have it like this. And we can maybe have this standing up a little bit as well. Yeah, let's do that. So, dimensionals on the back. I think there's going to be lots of different ways to use these pieces. Lots of combinations that you can use. I love using the little like pre-cut pieces. And then I might I don't know if I like it this way or this way. I think I'm going to have it off to the right. So I'm going to put one dimensional at the right hand side and a little dab of glue at the left hand side. And that way it will be level. Might be better with a small dimensional. Like that. Oh, what a messy desk I've got now. Yeah, I'm going to pop it just like that. Okay, and then the third one here, I'm going to use the sentiments that come with it because I liked that one, that larger thanks one, that big thanks. And I'm going to use that one. And let's find a different block. Let's see if it'll fit on here. Yeah, just give it a little rub. And I'll get my little scratch paper back. Nice. Let's use it on one of these labels. I'm going to put it slightly to the right hand side because I've just seen something that I'm going to put on it as an embellishment. Okay. I'm going to pop this on here and I'm going to put it on dimensionals. So let's use those bigger ones again. We'll see where I've hidden them. And put this right across here. And then I just saw peeping out a little butterfly there. And I'm going to pop that just up here. So I'll put a dimensional on the back of the wings, just at the top, so that it will sit nicely and it will be level with the label. There. Now it matches that paper there. You could put it at the other side as well, but I just like it over there. Okay. Now I'm not going to put any more of the embellishments on while you're watching. I'll show a picture of them all later. You don't need to see me just stamping and putting hundreds of embellishments on. But I love this little stack and shuffle. There we go. So it's a really easy technique, and the kit that we're using has got so many little pieces that you could add. It, you know, you can just look through, pop all sorts of pieces on. The flowers are very pretty as well. That would look nice on an edge. I like this cute little, oh, I can't pick him up. This cute little bird. That's a really pretty one too. And then all you need to do is to put your other layers of card on the inside, and you can decorate with some of the embellishments or more of the designer series paper that we used. And that's a really quick and easy way to design different fronts for your cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't want to run over and have too long videoing for you. So I will show a picture of the finished cards. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye-bye.